Hey everyone, welcome back to the weekly recap of RPG. Last week we played through April 5th through the 11th. It's going to be days 95 through 101. We broke 100 days of this. So, how'd it go for me? Let's go find out. So we are still in this spider-infested church. Let's see how we're going to start out the week. So the first thing we're going to do is, after climbing the staircase as far as it goes, you reach the top and find the bell tower of the church. You hear an odd noise that makes your stomach queasy. It's certainly not the ringing of a bell. So today we're going to investigate the bell tower by rolling a d20 plus our intellect. And if you have it, you can go ahead and use the investigator ability. So to the tower for the first roll of the week, and we are going to roll a d20 plus our intellect, which here is a 2. And we're going to do this to investigate the bell tower. Starting the week out hot, rolling a natural 20. Check the results and we see that if the result is 17 or more, you spot spider webs all around the bell tower, but you see no spiders. You investigate the last web sack you find in the church. You pull out a large half-orc who is barely breathing and seems near death. You rescued someone. Make a note of it on your character sheet that you saved one person. Along the edges of the bell is a thick coating of black slime that seems to have a purple shimmer in the moonlight. You're pretty sure you've seen this before. So we're able to rescue someone out of the bell tower. That takes us up to 2 rescues through the church. Let's see what Tuesday has to offer. As you're about to leave the tower and head back down the spiral staircase, a giant spider begins to emerge from inside the bell. Long legs are waving around, striking at you. You do your best to try and avoid them. Then its sharp fangs and demonic eyes peek out. It has spotted its prey. So we're going to go ahead and fight this guy for 3 rounds. We're going to do that by rolling a d20 plus our attack, and then a damage roll for each round. Alright, so we come back over here to the tower as we go to battle the giant spider, and I think now is a good time to go ahead and bring these back out. And we're going to use our high variance dice for this battle. If you didn't see these before, these dice have lots of high numbers, lots of low numbers, and not too many in between. So let's go ahead and see how this plays out. So we're going to start out round 1 against the giant spider, and we're going to roll a d20 for our attack, plus our attack value, which is plus 5. So we'll see what we get here on the first roll. Like I said, these either going to be really good or really bad. You can see how that 20 is surrounded by 1s. So our first attack is going to be a 25. And now for our damage rolls, Jasper's damage is 2d6 plus 1. So we'll roll it first d6, get a 2, and to that 2 we are going to add 1 plus 1 gives us 4 for our first damage roll. So we'll come over here to round 2 of combat. First the attack. And as good as the first roll was, this one is pretty much as bad. We only come up with a 2 plus 5 gives us a 7 for our attack. And now we'll go ahead and roll the damage. First d6 is just a 1. Now we're going to add in another 6 to that. So 7 plus 1 is 8 for our damage on attack number 2. And finally for round 3, attack first. Another 2 plus 5, 7 again for our attack value. We'll go ahead and roll our damage. Start out with a 1 again, and add in another 1, plus 1 gives us 3 for our final damage. Alright, let's go over here and look at these results. I don't think we did very well against the giant spider. So in round number 1, we rolled a 25 for our attack, so we definitely hit the spider, but we only rolled a 4 for the damage, so we needed to roll a 5 to damage him. If we missed, or the spider is not stunned, the spider smashes you with its mighty legs. If your armor value is 17 or less, reduce your health by 3. So Jasper's armor is currently sitting at 16. We're going to reduce his health by 3, and that's going to take us down to 11 health left. In round 2, we didn't do very well at all. We rolled a 7 as our attack, so you can see that if your attack roll is 14 or less, then you missed the spider. If you miss the spider is stunned, and it bites at your feet. If your armor is 17 or less, reduce your health by 2, dropping us down to 9. And finally, in round 3, again, we missed the spider by rolling less than the required 15. So we missed the spider, and it's going to pin us against the wall. This time it says if our armor is 16 or less, we're going to reduce our health by 3, and that's going to take us down to just 6 health remaining. Alright, so after an incredibly frustrating battle with the spider, let's get past that day. So again with the spider, more of the giant spider is emerging from the bell. You won't be able to fight it off if you're pinned against the wall. It's now blocking the exit to the stairs. There's only one place left to go. You have to jump out the window and onto the roof. We're going to do that by rolling a d20 plus our dexterity, and if we have it, we can use the athlete ability. Alright, so Jasper does not have the athlete ability, but he does have a health potion. So before we go ahead and jump out the window, we are going to down this as we are running for our life. So the health potion is going to give us back D4 health, so let's go ahead and roll that first. We only get a 1, but I'll take it. That's going to bring our health back up to 7. And now having used that, we're going to look over here at our abilities and see that we do have the nimble ability, so we're going to use that, and we're going to add +2 to our dexterity roll. Our dexterity is +1, so we're going to roll a d20 and add a +3 to whatever this says, and hopefully get out of the spider's way. We roll a 13 plus 3 gives us a 16. Is a 16 good enough? Maybe. If we roll between 13 and 17, you leap out the window and get free from the spider as it tries to grab you. You didn't realize how long the fall was going to be though. Your stomach drops and you brace for impact. You land on your feet, but you land hard and intense pain shoots up your leg. Reduce your health by 1. I just want to be done with the spider. Hopefully Thursday gets rid of him. And it's pretty much the opposite of getting rid of him, because we're going to fight him for another 4 rounds of combat. It says a spider won't quit its pursuit of you. It climbs out of the bell tower and onto the roof. It's time to stand and fight, or end up in one of those webbed sacks as a to-go meal for the spider. Alright, so this is it. Jasper has 6 health left, and we have to fight the spider for 4 rounds. We have no high variance dice today, no nothing. Just Jasper hits +5 to his attack, and probably all the abilities that we can use here. So let's start out with round 1. Here's our attack. Start out with a 12. And now for our damage, we're going to roll our first d6. Start with a 2. A 3 for a 5. And that is going to give us a total of 6 damage for round 1. So we'll go to round 2. Attack first. Only managed a 3 plus a 5 gives us 8 for our attack. We'll go ahead and roll the damage. Gives us a 1 plus another 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. For round number 3. Roll a 17 plus 5 gives us 22. And now for the damage. Start with a 2, and we go to add in. A 5 is 7, plus 1 gives us 8. And for the final round of combat, here's our attack. Roll a 16, and now for the damage. Start with a 3, add to it. The wormwood symbol means 6. Plus 1 gives us 10 for the damage in the last round of combat. So looking at the results, I think we fared much better today than we did the first go round. So we'll start at round 1. In round 1, we rolled a 17 for our attack. And you can see that if we roll a 15 or more, we hit the spider. If our damage roll is 5 or more, which we did, then the spider is stunned this round. We go into round number 2. If our attack roll is 14 or less, which it was there, then we miss the spider. If you miss the spider, then the spider pins you to the wall. If your armor is 16 or more, reduce your health by 2. Our armor is at 16. We reduce our health by 2. It's going to take us down to 4. But we're going to go ahead and use our shield here. So we can use this once per rest in response to taking damage. And we'll take no damage. So we're going to stay at 6 health. On to round 3. Round 3, roll a 22 for our attack, so we definitely hit the spider. If we hit the spider and our damage is 4 or more, then we are going to stun the spider. And in the final round of combat, we rolled a 21 for our attack value, which is enough to hit the spider. If we hit the spider and our damage roll is 5 or more, and here we rolled a 10, then we have successfully killed the spider. So yesterday we were finally able to vanquish the spider. Let's see what we're going to do on Friday to celebrate. You continue to explore the church in hopes of saving others from the spider sacks. You enter a large room and discover a small altar and offering table at the back of the room. This must be where worshippers came to offer tithing to their god. This room offers a brief respite from all of the fighting that took place earlier. Today we're going to search the altar and offering table by rolling a d20 plus our intellect. And again, if you have the investigator ability, go ahead and use it today. So today we're going to search the altar by rolling a d20 plus our intellect. Our intellect is a +2, so +2 to whatever the d20 says here. (13 + 2 is 15. Let's see what that does for us. If the result is between 11 and 15, the church has been closed up so long that the food on the offering table has begun to rot. You manage to look through it and find some food worth 1 ration. Add 1 ration to your character sheet. On the altar you find a large religious book with the symbol of the church upon it. You do find a few gold pieces and a health potion. Add 3 gold to your character sheet and add 1 health potion as well. So Friday was a pretty good day in the church. We found all kinds of useful things. Let's see how we're going to end the week. In the deepest part of the church, you find an entrance to a crypt. The lock looks sophisticated, but what draws your attention is the 4 statues of various religious symbols. Below them is a cavity where one could go. The cavity also holds a pressure plate. The correct statue must have the precise amount of weight in order to trigger the pressure plate to open. Today we're going to try to unlock this by picking one of the 4 statues. In case that one doesn't work, decide on your second, third, and final statue before resolving the puzzle. So before I start going over the results, I'm going to flash my choices across the screen up here. I'm going to choose A, D, B, and C. Let's go ahead and see what these results do. Starting with A. You place a statue on the pressure plate in the cavity. You hear a slight grinding of stone on stone before a hard clunk noise echoes in the chamber. A blast of fire bursts forth from the cavity. Roll d20 plus your dexterity. And you can use the danger sense ability if you have that. Alright, so we finally defeat the spider, and now I'm going to wind up dying while I'm trying to unlock a door inside the church. Go figure. We're going to roll a d20 here plus our dexterity, which is a +1, to see if we can avoid this giant fireball. Of course we jump out of the way. It says that if the result is 11 or more, you manage to dodge most of the blast of the fire, but the heat is still too hot to bear. Reduce your health by 1. Are you kidding me? Down to 5. Before we go ahead and resolve our next option, let's have Jasper down his health potion that we just picked up yesterday. So we're going to add d4 health back to it. And again with another 1. Let's go back up to 6 health. Now to resolve our second choice, which was D. You place a statue on the pressure plate in the cavity. You hear a slight grinding of stone on stone before a hard clunk noise echoes in the chamber. Blast of fire erupts forth from the door of the crypt. Roll a d20 plus your dexterity. Use the danger sense ability. Alright, back to the tower again. We're going to roll our d20. (19 + 1 is 20 again. But it doesn't matter, because if you roll 11 or more, you're still going to reduce your health by 1 because the fireball is really hot. Back to 5 health. Let's try our third choice, option B. You place this statue on the pressure plate in the cavity. You hear a slight grinding of stone on stone before a hard clunk noise echoes throughout the chamber. We know how this is going to end. A blast of fire bursts forth from the floor beneath you. Back to the tower to roll a d20 plus your dexterity. So back at the tower, let's see if we can go 3 for 3 and jump out of the way. Just in case we can't, let's use our last nimble ability here just to be sure. And we're going to add a +2 to this as well. So +3 to the d20. And we didn't need it, but it was nice to have the insurance. 16 + 3 is 19. And again, if you roll 11 or more, lose 1 health anyway. Alright, so now we have 4 health left and 3 new scars to show how bad of a choice we made. We're going to try option C. We place this statue on the pressure plate in the cavity. You hear a slight grinding of stone on stone before a soft click. The door to the crypt softly glides open. As the crypt door opens, where does that leave us for the week? Well, we lost a ton of health. We started the week at 14. We ended the week at 4. Our armor is still at 16, our attack is still +5, damage is still 2d6 +1. We picked up a couple pieces of gold this week, leaving us at 7. We are still carrying around a lockpick set, the Shield of Valor. We now have 6 meal rations, we have the God's Blessing, which gives us 1 reroll, and we still have a combat tonic. We rescued 1 additional person this week, and we used a couple of abilities. We used up all of our nimble abilities and our shield ability. So I'm really hoping that this tunnel, or this door, leads to someplace where we can take a rest. Wow, what a week. That sucked. How'd you guys do? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and then let me know down there in the comments if you're playing along at home. Did you have a rough week too? Did you guys take any of the additional help from last week that we met up with? Or I guess 2 weeks ago that we met up with? Do you got someone making health potions for you at will? Or just anyone trying to help you out, give you some moral support? Because I'll take it right now if I can get some. I'm really hoping that there's someplace ahead where we can take a rest and try and regain some health. But I don't know. Make sure you guys come back next Sunday and see how the whole week is going to play out again. I'll look for everyone then.